Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I would like to just welcome everyone who is new here and just tell you a little bit more about me. What we're going to be doing on this channel is a little poetry, there's a little bit of singing featured on the channel, as well as just some typical daily vlogs and advice. So that's pretty much what you can expect from me. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing you a poem that I wrote a couple years back and shared on my poetry page, Poetry Speaks Volumes, where I post all of my YouTube videos to get you aware of what's on my channel. So where do I start when it comes to poetry? Poetry and me and poetry. I don't really know how to put it, but I've been writing poetry for a couple years now. It's been a thing of mine that helps me to express my thoughts. Some of it is true, some of it is fiction. A lot of people don't really know. It's hard to kind of tell which ones are true and which ones are fiction, unless I kind of give you a background on the poem itself. So here's one that I wrote a couple years back. It's called Me and Poetry. Me and poetry is like a song playing in the back of my mind. Me and poetry is like the melody of a beautiful beat. Poetry has been there for me through the good and bad. I can always rely on poetry to get me through my... Me and poetry are like tying your shoelaces on your shoes. Poetry has been something that I have been doing. I've been using poetry to show another side of me. That side that very few people have seen. Have the one... Me and poetry is like a song playing in the back of my mind. Me and poetry is like the melody of a beautiful beat. Poetry has been there, good and bad. I can always rely on poetry to get me through my day. Me and poetry are like tying your shoelaces on your shoes. Poetry has been something that I've been doing for a while. I've been using poetry to show another side of me, that side that very few people have seen. That way, I want to share my talents with others. Been doing poetry since the 10th grade, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Me and my poetry is like two peas in a pod. Poetry is a way to open up to more people. Poetry is how I focus after a long day of work. Poetry is a new thing in my life that I want to stay around. When I want to have time to write to myself, I write. I write and I write. They say that I have been inspiring to others. I have been able to get kids to change their lives through poetry. Poetry has spread in my city to help get our youth off the streets. Poetry is the way I have been true to myself, because integrity is more about being true to what you know. Poetry has been deep inside of me, is the thing that keeps me being me. Poetry. I would really appreciate it if you can like, comment, share, and subscribe.